Hi, I'm Martin. Never thought I'd be telling this story, but here we are. Life has a way of blindsiding you when you least expect it. I sipped my coffee while my best friend Derek watched me from across the kitchen table. So, you're really going through with this? Derek asked, drumming his fingers nervously. What choice do I have? 15 years of marriage, and this is how it ends. When did things start changing with Vanessa? I remember you guys seemed happy at the Christmas party. I laughed without humor. Oh, we were. Or at least I thought we were. But looking back, the signs were there. Like what? Like how she started getting secretive about her phone, how she'd get all dressed up for girls' nights that apparently never included photos, how she'd pick fights over nothing. Derek leaned forward. Honestly, man, I thought it was just the stress from her new job. That's what I thought too, but the job was just the beginning. Remember those lottery tickets she'd buy every week? The ones you always teased her about, calling them the voluntary tax for people who can't do math? I nodded. Those exact ones. Well, guess who can't do math now? I pulled out my phone and showed him the news article. Derek's eyes widened. Holy, 30 million? Vanessa won $30 million? Yep, and filed for divorce exactly 3 days later. No way. Derek shook his head in disbelief. That can't be legal, right? That's what I'm trying to figure out. All I know is that I got served papers at work, completely blindsided me. The doorbell rang. I opened it to find Lisa, Vanessa's longtime friend. Martin, I need to talk to you, she said, stepping inside without waiting for an invitation. Lisa, what are you doing here? Come to gloat about my wife's newfound fortune? She shook her head vigorously. I'm not on her side with this. That's why I'm here. Derek stood up. Should I leave you two alone? No, Lisa insisted. You should hear this too. She sat down, hands trembling slightly. Vanessa's been planning this for months. The lottery win just accelerated her timeline. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. What do you mean, planning this? The divorce. She told me back in January that she was going to leave you once she saved enough money. Lisa couldn't meet my eyes. I told her she was making a mistake, but she wouldn't listen. And you didn't think to mention this to me? My voice rose despite my efforts to stay calm. I know, I should have, but she's been my friend since college, and I thought she'd come to her senses. What changed? Derek asked. Lisa pulled out her phone. It's a text conversation from yesterday. She's with that guy from her office, Jason. I took the phone and read the messages, my hands shaking with each swipe. Vanessa, it worked. Martin got the papers today. You should have seen his face when I told him I wanted half the house, LOL Jason. Did you tell him about us? Vanessa, no way, he has no idea. The idiot still thinks the lottery was just lucky timing. Wait till he finds out I've been planning my exit strategy for months. Jason, what about the money? Any issues there? Vanessa, none. I already moved most of it offshore. By the time the divorce is final, there won't be much left for him to claim. My lawyer says since I bought the ticket, it's all mine anyway. I handed the phone back to Lisa, my mind racing. How long has she been seeing this Jason guy? Lisa looked down. 6 months at least. And the lottery win? Was that really just luck? That part was genuine luck, but she's been strategic about everything else. Including laughing at me while signing the divorce papers, I said bitterly. She actually laughed. Lisa nodded sadly. Martin, there's something else you should know. She's meeting with her lawyer tomorrow to discuss moving all the assets before the court date. So what are you going to do? Derek asked as Lisa left. I paced the living room. I need a lawyer, a good one. My cousin Sarah specializes in divorce cases. I could call her right now. 20 minutes later, Sarah was at my door, legal pad in hand. Let me get this straight, she said after I explained everything. Your wife wins the lottery, immediately files for divorce, and is now trying to hide the assets? That's the short version, yeah? Sarah's eyes narrowed. When exactly did she purchase the winning ticket? Last Tuesday. I remember because I was with her at the gas station. You were with her? Sarah perked up. Did you give her the money for the ticket? I thought back. No, but we have joint accounts. All our money is pooled together. And what state was the ticket purchased in? Right here in California. Sarah smiled for the first time. Martin, this is actually good news. California is a community property state. Assets acquired during marriage are generally considered joint property. Derek looked confused. Even lottery winnings? Especially lottery winnings, Sarah confirmed. If the ticket was purchased with marital funds during the marriage, the winnings are typically considered marital property. But what about her moving the money offshore? I asked. That's called dissipation of marital assets. and judges take a very dim view of it. Sarah tapped her pen against the pad. We need to act fast, though. I'll file for an emergency injunction to freeze all accounts. The doorbell rang again. This time it was Vanessa's sister, Rachel. You have a lot of nerve, she spat as soon as I opened the door. Me? Your sister is the one. Save it. Vanessa told me everything. How you emotionally abused her for years. How you controlled all the finances. How you threatened her when she wanted to leave. Derek stepped forward. That's complete BS, and you know it, Rachel. Stay out of this, Derek. Rachel turned back to me. She deserves every penny of that money after what she went through with you. Sarah stood up. I'm Martin's attorney. I suggest you leave before you say something that could be used in court. Oh, you got a lawyer already? Typical. Vanessa was right about you being greedy. I struggled to keep my voice steady. Rachel, you've known me for 15 years. Do you honestly believe I've been abusing your sister? Something flickered in her eyes. She said, She's lying, I interrupted. And I think you know it. Rachel's shoulders slumped slightly. Look, I don't know what to believe anymore. She's changed since getting involved with that Jason guy. You know about him too? Derek asked. Everyone knows except Martin, apparently. Rachel looked uncomfortable. I didn't know about the money hiding, though. That's not right. Sarah handed Rachel her card. If you want to do the right thing, call me. Your sister is committing fraud. After Rachel left, I called my brother Michael, who worked in digital forensics. I need your help, I explained. Vanessa's hiding money offshore, and I need proof. I'm on it, Michael replied. Meet me at my office in an hour. And Martin, we're going to nail her to the wall. The next day, armed with evidence from Michael and legal documents from Sarah, I arrived at Vanessa's new apartment. Jason opened the door. You must be Martin, he smirked. Vanessa's not going to be happy to see you. And you must be Jason, I replied evenly. The office romance that's about to cost you both a fortune. His smirk faltered. What are you talking about? Vanessa appeared behind him. Martin, what are you doing here? We need to talk. There's nothing to talk about. My lawyer said, your lawyer doesn't know what I know. I stepped inside uninvited. Nice place. Expensive. How much of my half of the $30 million did this cost? Jason crossed his arms. Look, man, the money is hers. She bought the ticket. With marital funds in a community property state, I countered. And I have proof you both knew that. Vanessa's face paled. What proof? I pulled out my phone. Michael recovered your deleted texts. The ones where you discuss hiding assets from me. The ones where you admit to planning this for months. You hacked my phone? Vanessa's voice rose. That's illegal. Not when it's ordered by the court. I handed her an envelope. Emergency injunction, all accounts frozen, and the offshore transfers already being reversed. Jason stepped forward. You can't do this. Actually, I can, and there's more. I turned to Vanessa. Remember when you laughed while signing those divorce papers? You thought it was so funny. Martin, No, let me finish. You thought you were so clever, but you know what's not clever? Committing perjury on your financial disclosure forms? Vanessa's confident facade cracked. Look, maybe we can work something out. Like you worked things out with Jason behind my back for 6 months. I'm sorry, okay? I made a mistake. Her eyes welled with tears. We can split the money, 50-50, that's fair, right? Now you want to be fair after trying to steal $15 million from me? Jason stepped between us. Hey, back off, she's trying to compromise. There's no compromise for fraud, I said firmly. The judge gets to decide now. Martin, please, Vanessa pleaded, grabbing my arm. I was wrong, I see that now. Can't we just start over? I removed her hand. Like you told Jason in your text, once the divorce is final, I never have to see his pathetic face again. Remember that? I didn't mean it. I was just angry about things. What things, Vanessa? Our 15-year marriage, the life we built together? Or was it just more convenient to throw it all away once you hit the jackpot? Jason pushed me. She said she's sorry. What more do you want? Don't touch me, I warned. Or what? He shoved me harder, making me stumble backward. Jason, stop! Vanessa yelled. He ignored her, advancing toward me. You think you can just come in here threatening us? You're nothing but a... I stepped aside as he lunged, causing him to crash into the coffee table. Assault added to fraud, I noted calmly. Not smart. Jason scrambled to his feet, fist raised. I'll kill you. 2 police officers appeared in the doorway. Is there a problem here? Perfect timing, I said. This man just assaulted me and threatened my life. There are witnesses. Jason's face contorted with rage as the officers restrained him. This isn't over. Actually, I replied, it is. All rise for the Honorable Judge Eleanor Patel, the bailiff announced. Sarah and I stood as the judge entered the courtroom. Across the aisle, Vanessa sat with her lawyer, looking significantly less confident than when this all began. "Be seated," Judge Patel said. "After reviewing the evidence in this case, I'm ready to deliver my ruling." Vanessa gripped her lawyer's arm. "Mrs. Chambers, your attempts to conceal marital assets are well documented and extremely troubling to this court. The lottery winnings of $30 million were obtained using marital funds during your marriage and before any divorce proceedings began. Therefore, they constitute community property." Sarah squeezed my shoulder supportively. "Furthermore," Judge Patel continued, "your deliberate attempts to hide these assets offshore, along with the documented timeline showing you filed for divorce specifically to deprive your husband of his legal share, constitute fraud upon the court." Vanessa's lawyer stood. "Your Honor, my client acknowledges her error in judgment and is willing to—" "I'm not finished, counselor." The judge's voice was stern. "Due to Mrs. Chambers' actions, this court finds that an equitable distribution would not be sufficient remedy. Therefore, I am awarding Mr. Chambers 60% of all marital assets, including the lottery winnings." A gasp went through the courtroom. "Additionally, Mrs. Chambers will be responsible for all legal fees incurred by Mr. Chambers in this matter. The restraining order against Mr. Jason Ellis will remain in effect for the duration of 1 year." Outside the courtroom, Vanessa approached me, tears streaming down her face. "Martin, please, can we talk? There's nothing left to say. I made a terrible mistake. I see that now." She reached for my hand. "We were together for 15 years. Doesn't that mean anything?" "It meant everything to me," I replied, "until you decided $30 million was worth more. I'll do anything to make this right. We could start over, maybe go to counseling." I shook my head. "The time for that was before you tried to steal from me, before you moved in with Jason, before you laughed while signing our divorce papers." Sarah intervened. "My client has nothing more to say to you, Mrs. Chambers." Later that evening, my friends and family gathered at Derek's house. "To justice," Michael toasted, raising his glass. "And to new beginnings," Lisa added. Derek put his arm around my shoulders. "So what now, Martin? What does one do with $18 million? "First, I'm establishing a foundation for people affected by financial fraud in divorce cases," I said. "Then I'm taking a very long vacation." "Alone?" Lisa asked, a hint of something in her voice. "For now," I smiled slightly. "I need some time." Rachel, who had ultimately testified on my behalf, approached cautiously. "I'm sorry about everything. I should have seen through her lies." "You did, eventually. That's what matters." As the evening wound down, Derek pulled me aside. "You okay? Really?" I considered the question. "You know what? I am. For the first time in months, I actually am. Even though it cost you $12 million to find out who she really was?" I laughed genuinely. "Best money I never spent. What about forgiveness? Think you'll ever get there?" I looked around at the people who had stood by me, who had chosen truth over deception, loyalty over greed. "Some things don't deserve forgiveness, Derek. Some betrayals cut too deep." I raised my glass. "But that doesn't mean I can't move forward."